This is the GIS Evening Report for Wednesday, May 29, 2024. I am Sherry-Ann Noel. In the headlines, Governor General appoints new supervisor of elections. Details to this story and more after the break.
The Royal Grenada Police Force and the National Disaster Management Agency remind all citizens that the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources has issued a no burning notice, which means that no one is allowed to light fires at any location throughout the state of Grenada. Engaging in setting of fires on any land under this act shall be liable to a fine of $500 or 3 months imprisonment. Please be vigilant and report any occurrences of fires as we aim to keep the nation safe during this severe dry season. Fires can cause millions of dollars in property damage and loss of lives. Let us all be responsible and play our part in minimizing wildfires as best as possible. Remember, it only takes one spark to ignite.
Welcome back. Newly appointed Supervisor of Elections, Otto Pear, says his first order of business is to meet with staff to discuss how the work of the office can be improved. Mr. Pear took the oath of office earlier today and was given his instrument of appointment by Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade. He officially takes up office on June 1st.
Certainly that will be the first order of business, really and truly to meet the staff. See exactly what are some, of course in every organization there are challenges and staff certainly will have their own challenges, so we certainly have to look at that, look at some of the gaps, look at some of the ways forward as you know we enter into new eras of technology, how we could use technology to ensure that we have a better functioning office and anything else that could improve the whole process and the whole work of the electoral office.
Mr. Pear, a qualified teacher, brings to the office a wealth of experience. Having worked in the Ministries of Education and Health, he is a former drug control officer and is also an HIV/AIDS advocate. He says he is ready for the task to ensure the office becomes stronger and better poised to hold elections.
The electoral office is one of the vanguards of democracy, hard work is not something that I shy away from. Challenges is not something I shy away from. And I can't say that I'm fully prepared, but with the support from staff, support from a number of persons who would have served as supervisors of election, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to listen, willing to take advice, and of course, willing to do the hard work to ensure that the office succeeds.
The newly appointed Supervisor of Elections also served as the presiding officer with the Parliamentary Elections Office for many years. He has been a public officer for more than 30 years and is currently the Deputy Disaster Coordinator at the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA. Moving along, Minister for Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, Honorable Karen James, addressed the Nature-Based Coastal Resilience for Caribbean SIDS event at the American University of Antigua on Tuesday, emphasizing the importance of nature-based solutions in addressing the unique challenges confronting Caribbean small island developing states. In addition, insights were shared into Grenada's coral reef conservation projects, showcasing their role in supporting marine life, protecting shores, and providing economic benefits through tourism and fisheries. Community involvement and empowerment were also high on the agenda, as the Honorable Minister spoke to the importance of involving local communities in MBS projects and illustrated how community-led initiatives in Grenada have led to the effective implementation and maintenance of these projects, ensuring long-term sustainability and resilience. Over the next 6 months, the Ministry of Social Development will embark on community-based programs and initiatives aimed at bringing awareness about gender-based violence, especially violence against women. On Wednesday, the ministry launched the Gender-Based Violence Strategy Plan for 2024. The newly unveiled strategy represents a collaborative effort between the ministry, various stakeholders, and community partners under the theme, Empowering Communities, Ending Violence, Play a Part. This strategy targets all members of society with specific focus on secondary school students. Minister for Social and Community Development, Senator the Honorable Gloria Thomas, addressed Wednesday's launch.
This theme was chosen because the Ministry of Social Development recognizes the fight against gender-based violence require the active participation of every individual and institution within our country. By empowering our communities, we can foster a culture of zero tolerance towards violence. We must support and empower victims and challenge the behaviors and attitudes of those perpetrators. This strategy calls upon everyone to contribute to creating a safer, more just, and more compassionate environment for all.
Minister Thomas made a call to action for all community groups, NGOs, and other groups to collaborate.
Our communities need a change from these scenarios. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that there is hope. There is hope because we are here today. The prevalence of gender-based violence in Grenada is not just a statistic. It is a reflection of the deep-rooted challenges we face as a nation. It is a call to action that cannot be ignored. As we continue to celebrate 50 years as an independent nation, we must be resolute in our stance to eradicate gender-based violence in all its forms. Gender-based violence is a significant human rights, public health, and security concern that impedes development and has a domino effect of negative consequences affecting families, communities, our societies, and our world. It is an issue that demands our collective action and unwavering commitment.
The ministry designed a roadmap which was unveiled by Minister Thomas and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Development, Mrs. Naomi Jeremiah. Senior Program Officer in the Ministry of Social Development, Jacinta Alexis, outlined the objectives of the GBV strategy.
For the next 6 months, our strategy is tailored specifically for Grenada and are as follows. 1, we are seeking to raise awareness of the impacts of GBV on the individual, family, community, and society. 2, we are seeking to debunk myths and address the root causes of GBV. 3, raise awareness of the laws and resources available to address GBV. 4, engage men and boys as agents of change. 5, strengthen the support systems by identifying potential change agents within the communities, known as gatekeepers, to ensure sustained engagement.
Woman Detective Sergeant Nancy Joseph of the Royal Grenada Police Force said that the number of reports of gender-based violence from January to April has grown significantly.
This increase in reports is attributed to factors such as an increase in the number of complainants. 1, we have more persons coming forward to make these reports as they are more aware of the reporting mechanisms that are now in place. Multiple counts of offences being identified from one complaint, and reports from previous years that are now being reported to the police. All of these matters reported thus far have all been reported by females. It indicates that females are still largely the victims of such abuse, while males are largely the perpetrators. This is a clear indication that the issue of gender-based violence is still very important and a prominent matter for concern by all.
We take a break. Much more when we return.
Grenada, this is your time to engage the Cannabis Working Committee on their role in shaping government's policy on the way forward for the cannabis industry. Tune into your favorite current affairs channel, radio, or social media platform on June 3rd from 8 p.m. Putting the policy plans under the microscope. Hear their mandate. Ask your questions. The national panel discussion on the potential of the cannabis industry, medicinal benefits, economic growth, social justice, health, and safety. June 3rd from 8 p.m. The airwaves will come alive. It's your time to have your say.
Welcome back. Minister for Carriacou and Petit-Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Honorable Tevin Andrews, accompanied by engineer in the Department of Public Works in the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique Affairs, Richard A. Caballero, recently conducted a tour of some of the road projects on the island. These include Lauriston Road Project, Mount Pleasant, and Bel Air. Honorable Andrews believes that the work is necessary in the development of the communities they serve.
I believe with the ongoing projects, it will help improve greater access to homes, and in particular the Bel Air road, greater access to the hospital. It's the main emergency access road to our hospital. So I know that it will have a huge impact, not just on the community of Bel Air, but also to the emergency services. So the people of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique, this is what governments do, and it's me fulfilling some of the promises that were made and ensuring that your government is working for you.
Minister Andrews says he is not just excited about the proper access roads that are now under construction, but also the economic impact that is generated in the local economy.
We have several projects going on, and on almost all of the projects, for every project you have at least 11 or more men working on every site. And that, of course, means that we are addressing some of the unemployment issues that we're having on the island. But apart from that, the impact it's also having on our stores, the hardware stores, with the cement, the gravel, the sand, the steel, the BRC, what have you, that are being purchased, and the opportunities that it then creates. So certainly, with all its impact, the economy of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique will benefit a lot from it. But it's just some of the things that we are doing in Carriacou and Petit-Martinique as it relates to infrastructure. There are several other projects that are ongoing, but we just decided to just take a tour to update you, the public, in terms of what is taking place in Carriacou.
There are several phases, he says, to the Bel Air Road project, in particular that his government will ensure is undertaken and completed.
You have the phase one, which takes you to the bottom portion of Bel Air, which is approximately over 2,000 feet of roads. That is almost completed. I think they're now about close to 90% complete with that. And then you have the bottom hospital road, if you want to put it that way. That is also being done, and that is roughly again 90% completed. And when those two projects, when those two phases are completed, the intention is that we would open up so that the public can have access to and from Bel Air in that route. And the intention is to begin the top portion of Bel Air road. And of course, that's about 900 to 800 feet of road that needs to be done. So the intention is, hopefully, by year end, we should have the entire Bel Air road been done in Carriacou, and of course people having greater access. The community of Bel Air would finally be relieved from some of the disadvantages to the development, but they're all excited and happy for.
Over 40 participants, including farmers, Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries technicians and extension officers, are participating in a comprehensive Seamoss production training workshop. It aims to enhance skills and knowledge for efficient and sustainable Seamoss farming. Facilitated by the Food and Agricultural Organization, its primary goal is to build capacity within the Seamoss value chain, enhancing production efficiency and quality. It focuses on best practices for production and post-harvest production systems, shallow and deep water. Hands-on training in shallow water settings and site suitability and assessments for potential and current sites. Facilitator, Seamoss expert Thomas Nelson, engaged the participants in hands-on training, showcasing the bamboo raft technique suitable for both shallow and deep water environments, and a vertical farming net technique offering a fresh approach to increasing yields.
The training workshop, we started with a classroom session where basically we had discussions about the theoretical aspect of Seamoss production. We also informed them, or I also informed them, and we had quite a bit of discussion in terms of post-harvest management, where they could deal with issues relating to post-harvest issues, so that they could really maximize or optimize the returns from post-harvest and reduce losses. In the area of safety at sea, we did discuss some of the strategies and some of the techniques that can be utilized when the farmers are undertaking the activity in the marine environment. Some of the marine organisms that they would encounter, and if there were to be incidents or accidents, how they would respond to that.
National Coordinator for the South-Up and Seamoss Value Chain Development Project is Daniel Lewis. He underscores the necessity of support and development of farmers in getting the best out of the sector.
We really want to ensure that we provide support to the Seamoss farmers. Some of them experience problems. One of the main problems, I think, quite apart from sometimes you could have marketing and so forth, is the whole question of the drying process. Because after you would have harvested the Seamoss, you need to dry it properly. And we realized that maybe over drying could be a problem because you pay Seamoss, farmers sell the Seamoss in the dry form after it would have been dried. And if it is you over dry, that means you're selling a product that is much lower in weight than the optimum. And so we're hopeful tomorrow the focus will be on post-harvest management, everything you do after harvesting, and the drying process. Particular emphasis would be placed on those two areas. So then farmers, I think, would be left with a better perspective as to how you deal with the drying process, manage it properly.
Seamoss farmer Jesse Houston welcomed the interactive sessions brought up as a result of the training workshop.
When different views come together, you learn a lot. Sometimes you may see it one way and next person may see it the other way, which may be the better way, you know. So it gives us a chance to share knowledge, interact with each other, you know, and get person's view on how they may see things their way, you know, and how it works for them, because there are some methods that they use that work best. It mightn't be written in books, but it works best for what they do.
And finally in the news, with 1 month left for the completion of the annual licensing and inspection of motor vehicles on the island, Corporal Philip James, attached to the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, is reporting that despite public information forums, there are still vehicle owners who show up for inspection without addressing basic issues with their vehicles. Corporal James was a guest on the midweek GIS program One-on-One with the RGPF.
We still had some concerns and some challenges regarding the inspection though, in that we are still seeing persons showing up with damaged suspensions, persons showing up with vehicles heavily tinted. One of the highlighted concern also is one of those of the registration plates of those vehicles. We want to encourage persons that there are specifications for those number plates and that the regulation give guidance as to what that should be. We have observing numbers on figures on plates that are not upright. Persons are attaching the number plates on swivels, in that the number plates they are not permanently affixed, or they can be adjusted. What we want persons to know that the registration plate on any vehicle is the most distinguishing mark on the vehicle. So as a result, the law gives specification and direction regarding your registration plate, in that it should be easily distinguished and be identifiable.
He says another challenge faced is that of laden vehicles being brought for inspection.
The regulation advises that you have those vehicles unladen, in particular the good vehicles, as well as vehicles, passenger buses, and other vehicles that are showing up with persons within that vehicle for inspection. You are reminded that you are required to show up at those inspections with the vehicle unladen.
The issue of bright lights and its challenges is another major concern for the Traffic Department, as vehicle owners will inspect with the correct bulbs and change once they have passed the inspection. This practice, he says, is very dangerous.
What you've also noticed with those lights is that guidance are given even on the packaging. They are for desert lights. They are not even lights designed for our areas. And what will happen is that, as you indicated, persons show up to the inspection with the light that is fitted or provided by the manufacturer, and then they'll go and have these others fitted on, which are pretty bright, and as a result, they don't have that kind of control. What you recognize is that those lights fitted onto the older model vehicles, the housing for those lights are not those it's so designed for the new ones. As a result, the housing and maybe reducing the amount of light that is directed to you, the older vehicles does not have that capacity to have that done. So we have some challenges in that regards, but we just want to ensure and encourage persons in that regards, that to show that that courtesy, that road courtesy, in that you're approaching another vehicle, we're asking that you lower your lights, lower your lights so that you as well as the other person can have view and maintain view of the road, and we can avoid any fatality or any accidents as a result.
Vehicles now due for inspection in the fourth batch are vehicles with single registration 751 to 999 and plural registration 7,501 to 9,999. And with that story, we come to the end of the GIS Evening Report for Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. On behalf of the news and production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.